Welcome to the Historical Museum of Southern Florida and to our Port Royal, Jamaica exhibition. This was organized by the Institute of Jamaica and the museum here in Miami. We opened it in February and it's going to be on display until June 3rd. And it's a great opportunity to see some of the rare artifacts from the famous city of Port Royal. Most of the artifacts are from the heyday of the city in the late 17th century, before the terrible 1692 earthquake destroyed much of the town. The Institute of Jamaica proposed this exhibition to us here at the museum about 5 years ago, and we've been working on it ever since. They sent about 200 of their most valuable artifacts that tell the story of the city both before and after the earthquake. And we would encourage everybody to come down and see it before it closes on June 3rd. You can learn about the pirates, of course, but you can also learn about all the trade in the city, about the craftsmen, the pewter makers, the silver makers, the woodworkers. It's all represented in this show. And you can learn about what Port Royal was like after the earthquake, when it became a really important base for the British Navy. There are lots of artifacts on display here that tell that story as well. And then to conclude the exhibition, we have about 20 wonderful photographs that were taken by Maria Laiocona that show what Port Royal has like as a town in more recent times. So you can get a little bit of a feel for the place today, and also see a video that shows the underwater archaeology through which the archaeologists were able to bring up all of these incredible artifacts and deposit them in the Institute of Jamaica, which makes an exhibition like this possible. And my name is Steve Stuempfle, and I'm the Chief Curator here at the Historical Museum of Southern Florida.
11:42 a.m., Wednesday, June 7th, 1692. The residents of Port Royal were home, or in a tavern, for a drink and their main meal when a roar came from the hills across the harbor. Shockwaves. The land moved, and within minutes 3 tremors tore through the ground. The sea swept in from all sides. An earthquake had struck. Port Royal was history. Only 25 of Port Royal's original 60 acres remained. The earthquake claimed 2,000 lives instantly. 3,000 more succumbed to injury, fever, and vandals. To many, the calamity was a sign of God's wrath, retribution upon this Sodom of the sea. Following the earthquake, survivors established Kingston across the harbor, but they did not abandon Port Royal. The community rebuilt itself, though it continued to be devastated by fires, hurricanes, and earthquakes. From the wickedest city on earth to a thriving commercial center, Port Royal, Jamaica has been the subject of much popular interest. While the image of a decadent and lavish city bears some truth, it obscures a more complex history of English colonization and the African slave trade. Skilled craftsmen, crafty men, forts, gunships, urban devastation and preservation, all of which is part of the story of a town whose sleepy present belies its past of excitement and intrigue. Following England's conquest of Jamaica from Spain in 1655, Port Royal developed into a major city of the English Americas, comparable in size to Boston. Fueled by pirate raids on Spanish galleons and ports and a growing plantation economy based on the enslavement of Africans, the city flourished with a wealth of fashionable imported goods and a plenitude of silversmiths, blacksmiths, shipwrights, and other tradesmen. This prosperity and glitter suddenly ended on June 7, 1692, when a massive earthquake swept 2/3 of the city under the sea. Today, Port Royal lives on as a small maritime community and a heritage site of worldwide significance. Artifacts recovered through underwater archaeology form the basis of this exhibition, with additional perspectives provided by rare maps and prints, and documentary photographs. Together, this material reveals Port Royal's prominence in the history of the Atlantic world.